Okay, it's 2:02. We are going to dive in. Hopefully you can see the agenda up on the screen out there. And before we dive into the agenda, we are getting really techie today, and we hope that you will participate in a poll. So a poll will pop up on your screen. It is 100% anonymous. So we are trying to gather some information. If you are choosing to not come to dine in person in the dining room, what is your reasoning? So you have a few options there. We are just curious to see if we need to tweak anything, or if there are concerns that we are not aware of out there. Wish I had the Jeopardy music for you. Looks like we still have some answers coming in. The numbers are still changing. Anne-Marie, can you see it too?
No, I can't. It just says hosts
Okay.
and panelists cannot
This is
vote.
new for us.
It just says I can't vote, so I don't.
I don't know if people are changing their answers. Okay, 5 more seconds. All right, let me go ahead and end the poll. And I believe I can share the results with you all. So here you go. It looks like 25% of you out there are telling us it was never your preference to dine in. 50% of you out there are still being careful with COVID, very understandable. We have 8%, I am nervous about who I will sit with. And then other, we couldn't think of too many, and honestly, this was about 10 minutes ago. So if you are an other, we would love to hear from you to get an idea of what is holding you back, to see if that is something that we can assist with. So that was super fun. Thank you. I think that I can publish those, that I can look back on those results later too. And of course it will be on the recording. So thank you for participating in that. Interesting information too. Okay, so we can go ahead and dive in to our agenda. And firstly, we just wanted to review our theme meals, which we have been trying to do monthly here at the Cedars. We have been getting, before we talk about our upcoming ones, we have been getting some good feedback. Some things that I have personally been hearing is that they like that it's community seating that evening, that everybody comes at the same time. They like that they get their food fairly quickly. On the few that we've done recently, we have gotten very good feedback on that actual food. Anne-Marie, did you want to speak more to the food selections that we are going with on those evenings?
I think that with the food selections that we're doing, we're trying a little bit of different menu items, so a little more higher end, and just trying to have a little bit of fun. We're just trying to get a good feel. We are getting kind of a mixed response from residents of saying that you're willing to pay more, as well as some also say they're not willing to pay more. So we're just trying to see how that goes. We're also trying to offer things that we don't normally offer on a normal basis. So Tyler was excited. This last time we had couscous. We don't typically have couscous on the menu. So
that was wonderful too.
That he noticed. So just trying to offer some different things, see how it goes, to see if those are things to incorporate on our menus then throughout the month, or, you know, as a daily special.
And we get to have some fun behind the scenes too, if we're doing a special cocktail, or we get to do some fun decorating. So it's enjoyable for all of us too.
We've got
Yeah, some special napkins. We're trying to have a lot of fun with it. So
yes, St. Patrick's Day, though, we will make sure it is a traditional St. Patrick's Day menu. We know that is not a menu that we really want to mess with. That's a very traditional meal there. So that's where we'll keep that. So for the Cupid celebration, we're still finalizing that menu. We've had some requests for lobster bisque. We've got requests for the tenderloin. So just we're trying to finalize where that menu will be and what is going to be best for that day.
yeah,
So I think
okay,
the
great.
Cupid celebration, we're looking at February. I gotta look at the calendar. What's the date?
I think it's the
24th?
last.
I think it's
the
the
last
24th.
Thursday. Yep.
Looking at February 24th, and then of course St. Patrick's Day will be on March 17th.
I think I forgot to tell folks out there that if you had comments, you could go ahead and use the Q&A also. I always try to remind people of that. If you had any questions, comments, you could go ahead and put it in the Q&A box for us. And I try to be on top of those to check them. Yes, so that's February and March for those special, the monthly theme meals, and crazy that we will be talking about April pretty soon, and hopefully it'll start to feel like April soon. So
Yes,
okay, we're ready to move on, right, Anne Marie?
I think so.
Okay, so we wanted to talk about basically some ideas we are having. Anne Marie and I will be working in the future with some very wonderful residents that have it at the top of their list to be a little bit more green for our environment, with different containers and that kind of thing. But outside of containers, we are hoping to start a couple of new initiatives for our pickup folks that will allow us to be a little bit better for our environment in terms of reducing our use altogether. So do you want to chat about some of our ideas, Anne Marie?
Yes, so we do have one resident currently who brings their own bag for pickup. And so just trying to think through that process if more people want to bring their own bag for pickup. So we're looking at possibly ordering trays. And so that full order will be on a tray. We take that out, and then residents can just load things off of the tray. That tray will be loaded or noted with your name on it in pickup. And then even trying to take it a little bit further, I think that we all have so many to-go containers from COVID of all the different restaurants of ordering and moving towards the to-go process, is that really, and maybe instead of looking for different containers, that we just use our own containers. So I've been looking for lids that fit our plates. So then if you're wanting to bring your own container, then we would put your food on a plate, we put a lid on it, it'd go out on the tray. And then not only, then you could then box up your own food from the china that we provide. And so that would be really zero with that there. So those are some ideas that we're looking at. With COVID, everything takes a while to get things ordered. So I'm working on sourcing these items, finding these items, and then once sourced, seeing what the turnaround is with that. So just an example, I ordered just a regular old normal soup crock. Normally I could get that, pretty much next week. I ordered that in November, and this is for the village, and I might be getting it next week. So it's just kind of how all of our sourcing items go. This is a common product for soup wells and soup crocks for the department. So it is odd that it has taken so long, but wanted to kind of get a jump start on that to see where that interest was and see where we're at with that. So that's the recycling options. And it really does, it still continues to be a hard to source products for the disposable. So when we do find it in stock, we are stocking up on it, because next week they might also be out of stock there as well. So. Mhm.
Anne Marie, are you able to pull up the Q&A? Because we
Yes,
have a
yep,
couple theme meal questions.
yep. It says any chance that one option of the theme meal be less expensive option like community, but not always the same price. So I think that that's a great idea. So we can definitely take a look at that and do that. Mhm.
Maybe that was what we were thinking for April.
Yeah, and I think it says, why are only beef eaters getting special foods at special meals? Typically at meals, and I'll have to double check our special events, we usually try to do like a fish and a beef. So I don't know, there might have been one where we just did one set option, but in the last event, for our December Snow Fest, it was an option of a steak or fish, a salmon, I believe. So we really do try to make sure it's not just the beef eaters, and trying to do something, as well.
And I know Tyler, really, the sous chef Tyler, he has spoken to me about several ideas too. So there's more to come. We will note
Mhm.
that feedback. He
Right,
has discussed chicken options. He's discussed duck option, or I'm sorry, lamb options. So there's more to come. So stay tuned. But very good pieces of feedback there. We are noting everything we hear. So we are on to number 3. So Anne Marie is very tech savvy. We're just getting real techie. She was able to pull some reports is this through Visual Touch?
so now with the new system in place, it is very easy, to be able to pull reports. So that was one of the big reasons for the switch and the change, is that with our old system that we had, we were not able to pull reports and get this kind of data. So we're just kind of scratching the surface of the reports in which we can pull and the information that we can look at. And then also, it's helpful too, because now everybody's on the same quarter. So it's great to be able to take a look at things on a quarter by quarter basis to see how are we doing, and where we're at with those things. So as the agenda shows, 91.4% of you are using 80% or more of your declined dollars. So I think that really shows well. And then we've got 82.9% use 90% or more of their declined dollars. And then 63% of our residents are using 100% of their declined dollars. So I think that those are always kind of numbers that everybody's always kind of wondered, and where we're at with those. So I think I'm excited to be able to share those with you. And I hope that that kind of helps give you a good picture of what's happening for us here in dining services. How many spent over there? So sorry, I need to read
I
that
was
out loud.
wondering that too.
Ellie asked me the same question. How many overspent their allotment? I was really focusing on their declined dollar usage. So that is a number that I can pull up, but it's just not a number that I have prepared. So I can add that, as I told Natalie, next month.
Yeah, good question. We're on the same wavelength out there. But yeah, we were very pleased with those numbers. And if anything, it seems like the participation rate has gone up, and now we just get to see the numbers to support that. So those were really exciting numbers that the Anne Marie was able to pull with our Visual Touch system. Okay. So just checking in the Q&A box. I think we are all caught up there. We just want to give a quick update on team members, as all of you are kind of getting to know the staff now, and as are we have a great team here that has been built over the past few months. They have really caught on. They are really just jumping into everything that needs to be done, and it's great to get some fresh eyes in the department too. That being said, there are still a couple more team members that are being onboarded. So we're expecting, actually somebody's first night is tonight. So we have a new person starting tonight, and then there is still one other person being onboarded. So we are also always looking at, okay, is somebody starting sports, or again, looking to the summer, are people going off to school? So those are all things that really never leave our mind here. Anything else on that, Anne Marie?
Yeah, so we had the two new individuals starting. Their names are Holly and Audrey, and they are both juniors at the Dexter High School. So I think that just shows, like Natalie mentioned, we are looking ahead. Most of our servers are high school seniors. So we are trying to plan already in January for September. So we are trying to look ahead. CJ does play baseball, so that as well is another reason to be bringing on additional team members. So for those spring sports. So we've got CJ covered, and then there's usually another one in there that decides to play some sports last minute. So we're just trying to
They're
make
all doing
sure.
something.
Yes, yes.
A comment is kudos to the dining human resources staff. So yes, we are with you on that. We have had really great HR partners that have diligently recruited and posted ads and all kinds of things and helped get them on board here. So yes, we agree. Thank you for saying that. We did have a suggestion in the Q&A box. I don't know what everybody sees out there. So just for that person specifically, I will make sure we take a look at that. It was a piece of feedback on how the receipts are displayed for residents when you leave the dining room and you get your receipt. So we will take a look at that further and see if that's something that can be possible.
I think we could maybe put reminders in the on the weekly menu and the resident update of just maybe we can do reminders come end of the quarter coming type of thing. I will have to check in with BT. I am not sure if that is a possibility to add that to the receipts.
And just in case people missed it out there, there was a suggestion to add details on the receipt, such as remaining dining days. So you could really calculate how much you have left to spend each day.
And I did go back through and calculate. We had 64% of the households had an incline charge.
You say that again?
64% of our households had incline charges.
So that means they spent over their declined dollars, right?
Correct.
Okay. 64%.
Yep.
That's an interesting one too. Wow. Okay.
And there are some who do it very well, and they zero left on their declined dollars and zero spent. That is an art form. And I'm just trying, I think there's at least there's like 10 of you that have this down to a T.
To the cent.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I will let Anne Marie speak to a COVID staffing plan.
So we're just, I just want to have a conversation and just talk about it. Currently, there are no COVID cases in our department. It just is going rampant across the nation. And so we do have a lot of staff out with COVID at CRC, at Porter Hills. And so just wanting to talk about that in if it were to happen here at the Cedars and we had a team member that had COVID, what would we do? How would we be able to still provide food for you? And so truly wait staff, we would be able to manage, assuming it's not every single team member, we would be able to manage that. And then it's really more the cooks. So we have 2 cooks. If one cook goes and is out due to COVID, then what would we do? So one person would not be able to manage that full menu there. And as much as I'd love to get behind the line and help them, they don't want me back there. And so I think really looking ahead, we would have to switch and it would be quickly, we would communicate. But I think in that situation, potentially, we would probably just move to like the daily special. So we hope we never have to do this, but we just want to talk about it and just, have that out there if it were ever to come up. Just trying to prepare, but never have to implement.
Yeah, I think it's good to just, even for people to know, there is a plan in place if something like that were to happen. That also made me realize that we skipped over Chef Mark. We did not talk about Chef Mark. So as you all know, Chef Mark is on a medical leave. He is still on that. It's tough with a medical leave because we're not communicating with him on an everyday basis. We need to give him the time to heal. We did check in with him recently and things are going as they should be in terms of the recovery. And it sounds like perhaps a March return. Is that kind of what you are gathering? And we hate to even, say a date.
Hopefully early March, yeah, like maybe like an early March return. So he does say hello to everybody and he's following doctor's orders and, feet are up and iced and he's following doctor's orders. So we do a little check-in on him, make sure and see how he's doing.
There was a question in the Q&A that I responded to. And again, I don't know if it's presented out there to the audience. A person was wondering how many poll responses total. So if I'm reading it correctly, we received 12 responses total. So not all of you out there's 27 households out there. So we do have more polls coming. Yes, so maybe you all can respond.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're trying to get exciting with the polls. So wanted to make sure everybody got the answer there, though, that there were 12 respondents to that.
Yep. So I will say in Chef Mark's absence, I am the one maintaining the online menus. So that is me.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie.
I have made a few mistakes. So there's a few, I don't know, Marissa might have reached out. So I accidentally put Saturday's menu on Friday and totally didn't even do Saturday. So I skipped right over Friday and jumped to Saturday, which not always a bad thing to do, but I do apologize on that. So as soon as I found out from Tyler, I fixed that very quickly today as soon as I learned. So I apologize and I'm trying my hardest there, but we are, I think you've seen, trying to keep the menus are open, I think even sooner than where we're at. So online they are, and reservations are open a consistent, I think 5 or 7 days. So
yes, thank you for all the extra work there. I know it is not easy. I would not know the first thing of how to do it. So
just send us an email to that email group and we will make sure that we address that for sure.
Yes, we really are, I think, seeing a lot of success with the dining email group. By the way, this was not a topic on here, but did want to just mention thank you all out there for utilizing that email address. We feel that between many of us getting it, that we get to respond to your concerns a little bit sooner. And, hopefully it's somebody on site too that can assist you with what you need. So thank you for embracing that email address. We like that. So a couple things in the Q&A, if I check back in, we continue to receive this question every so often. So I am happy to review it. The question is your staff vaccinated? So as an organization, UMRC in Porter Hills does not have a vaccine mandate. The government does not have any kind of mandate that has gone through the OSHA guidelines, which are the guidelines that we follow. So we do not require vaccination. That being said, much of our staff is vaccinated. Some are not, and we still have our masks requirements that we follow. So hopefully that answers your question. Another just kind of Miscellaneous question, is it possible to cancel an online pickup order? No. Correct, Anne Marie?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very complicated, we've had lots of conversations with the company on it. We still have a request. It's very complicated the way that the orders get sent through and then processed. And kind of like a good comparison is, so I just ordered something on Shutterfly. And with Shutterfly, you can cancel something within the first 30 minutes. Otherwise, it's gone and done. And I think that's probably similar to really all of the online ordering that is out there. So if you're ordering from Amazon, if you're ordering from a Macy's or like a Walgreens, once you hit send, you really can't cancel those things. So it is best just to continue to call and let us know. And you're actually even emailing. So then Marissa is on there. So she is able to see those and able to cancel those orders too for you. So we have put in requests, like what if it's, 48 hours ahead of time or 24 hours ahead of time. So we have not given up on that option, but that is the most recent update that continues not to be available.
And also, I know this was not the question, but you can cancel a reservation.
Yes.
So I think some people don't realize that as well, but I
Yep.
think more people do now, but yes, you can
Yep.
cancel a
you can-
reservation. You cannot cancel an order.
Yep, and you can edit one as well. So I will say in the special instructions, as being as brief as possible when writing in the special instructions is helpful. We only see a very small line. So if there's extra that goes in there, we have to go into another screen and it's hard to kind of scroll down to see those notes. So I know I think we missed one maybe last week of a note or something. So that was in there. And then Marissa has asked to, if you're dining with a group of people, it's just nice and helpful for us to know who those people are. If people are asking, oh, do I have a reservation tonight? Did so-and-so make a reservation for me? We want to make sure that that person is planning for you to be in a group with them. And it's just helpful to know who's dining.
Good topic to review there.
Mhm.
Okay, we are all caught up in the Q&A. So I think we are going to the feedback and some pre-submitted questions here. So some topics we have that were submitted in advance. So thank you to folks that did that for us. So the question of reservations versus open seating and kind of, are we ever going to return to open seating? So that general question. And I think in the immediate, we do plan to stick with our reservations, at least for the foreseeable future. It really helps us to plan accordingly with the staff. If we ever had anything come up with them, it would really be helpful in those circumstances, as we learned kind of the hard way. But that also, and again, that is part of a reason why we are trying to do these at least monthly the neighborhood dinners too, where you get to experience that kind of open seating style. And this also brought up the idea of a community table, which I'll let Anne Marie speak on a little bit.
We should have did a poll for this one.
I know.
That's the only one we forgot for a poll. So so our Cook Valley, our little sister community in Grand Rapids, they have so single residents majoritarily will say they want to sit at the community table. And so then this is, and I want to just say is I think no resident ever sits by themselves. So no single resident sits by themselves in the dining room. And we always make sure
unless they have noted that, which I don't think that's ever happened, but.
Yeah. So yeah, that we've known about. Yes. Thank you, Natalie.
Or no, that they had, if they requested to do that,
right.
That's been the only
Right.
circumstance.
Our rule of when making the seating chart and looking at those things is that people shouldn't be sitting by themselves. We want to make sure people are sitting together. And so say we might have an odd number and somebody might be by themselves in one dining time, we'll call them and we'll say, would you like to join us at this time and at this table? So we do work those reservations, and that's where it's helpful. So we are very mindful of that, and we want to make sure. So if that is a reason why you aren't coming down because you're afraid you're a single resident and that you'd be sitting by yourself, just know that we do make sure, and we're very conscious of that. But another option would also be, just to help someone feel good from the start, is that a community table. So if you want to sit at the community table, then that just means you are a group of people sitting at a table. So if there's 4 that said they want to sit at the community table, we would sit those 4 people together. If there's 6 of you, then we'd put 6 of you at the table. If there happens to be, 10, then we're going to have 2 different tables. So it's just another option to try to, which is why we did that poll in the beginning, of just trying to see, if you're not currently coming down, why are you not coming down? And so I think really, I'm just trying to make notes quickly. There's one that said that they're nervous. And so maybe that's just, if you're nervous and not coming because you don't know who to sit with, just know that we do make sure that you're sitting with somebody and you're not by yourself. We wouldn't do that to you. So I guess, I don't know, we didn't do the poll for that. So I don't know if there's an interest or a need, or,
Yeah, because so the idea with the community table is that there would be one table reserved for either couples or singles that don't have on their reservation, seat me with so-and-so. So I think what Anne Marie is explaining is that we do that organically for you. But if there are folks out there that are concerned about it, really, we'd like to troubleshoot with you to kind of help you through to see how we do it. Or if there is that interest in a community table, we would be happy to implement something like that too. So I did fail on that poll, everyone.
That's right. We were doing we got lots of fun polls.
Okay, so in the Q&A, I am trying to read this question. It looks like it's
it's a visual touch. So online order form, would it be possible to indicate the chef's vegetable and chef's starch and the chef's side, an easy way for us to find them? Often they're hard to find. So on the daily special, it'll say the description of the menu item, and then it says chef starch, and then it says what it is, chef's vegetable, and it notes what it is. So if you're looking for what that is, it's in the daily special description.
So I think we have had this come up before. So in order, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe we talked with Chef Market in detail about this. In order for us to actually display the chef vegetable and chef starch on the sides when you are actually selecting them, we would have to manually input those for 5 days out of the week. So again, it's another manual input that is an additional step. So what we're conscious of doing for you all is making sure that you have a paper menu as well in your cubby. So even if you're online and the side menu pops up. So yes, sometimes it blocks that description. And that's why we are always making sure that you have a paper version of it too, because maybe that's easier for you to look at to remind you what that vegetable and starch is. Because I've been in that scenario where it does block the description with the side. So, but I think that's the biggest reason, is that it's an additional manual input. Someone likes the idea of the community table. Okay, perfect. And let me see the net comments about the black bean burger. I know, and that was something on the table side menu last round, Anne-Marie, I think.
Yeah, so it was changed just to kind of change and give variety. The black bean burger was replaced with the zucchini sandwich.
And we rotate that.
Yeah.
We rotate it in and out, and it is a popular one, and it will certainly come back. Okay. So we're caught up in the Q&A. Anne Marie, do you want to go to the beef cut?
We
And
can go to the beef one. So
hold on, we better do our poll.
okay.
So the next
Well,
poll
do you want me to
on
talk about it first and
is
then do the
actually
poll?
2 questions. What was that, Anne Marie?
Do you want me to talk about it first and then do the poll?
Okay. Yes, sorry. I was rereading it. Go ahead.
We've had a variety of comments regarding the beef tenderloin that we removed from the menu. That was a very more popular than what we ever knew to have on the menu. Many people enjoyed that cut of meats and the way we prepared it. And so when we looked at our new menu that we implemented in early December, also at that same point in time, meat prices really rose in November and really kind of towards the end of October, November. And I think even by going to the grocery stores, you've seen just prices have skyrocketed, doubled, sometimes tripled in price. And so it's just, and talking with the vendors, just trying to figure out when's it going to go back down, what's happening. And usually we're used to seeing an increase in especially beef and beef tenderloin from basically the holiday season of Christmas, but really more mid-December. And then that won't go down until Valentine's Day. And pretty much after Valentine's Day, just like roses, the prices drop and it goes back to normal and everything is great again. So we really saw a huge increase of the beef tenderloin to where we didn't feel it would have been well received from the community. We didn't have these great polls to do. And so really, if we were to keep the beef tenderloin on the menu and serve the 5-ounce beef tenderloin with 2 sides, the cost of that we would have to put at $38. And so that is why we took the beef tenderloin off the menu and then put on the bistro steak instead. And never did we try to, and I hope no one thought, we weren't trying to pull a fast one and say, here's this bistro steak. We were never trying to call that beef tenderloin. We never tried to pull it off as the same cut of meat. It is a different cut of meat. It is actually, hang on, I got to check my notes here because I've checked with the supplier. Trying to see. So it's a completely different cut of meats. And so that's where the price is different. And so we were trying to bring you a nice quality piece of meat, but just not the same as tenderloin. And when you compare tenderloin to anything's not going to be the same. So that's kind of where we're at. We did some price comparisons. Weber's, they offer an 8-ounce filet for $42. There's Nights Downtown that offers a 6-ounce steak, same of the beef tenderloin, and that's a $42 price point. So, and based on the pricing and what we're able to source out, ours would have to be a $38 price point for that. So Natalie now has our.
Okay, but I messed up this poll because it is 2 questions. It has the fish question too. So you are getting 2 questions here.
Okay, so then the second question then that goes along with the fish question is that
well, this is a fish fry.
Yes, there was a comment. Yeah. So we're just wondering.
Okay, so we hope they are up on your screen and you are able to vote. 2 questions. Would you like to see the beef tenderloin back on the tableside menu if priced appropriately at $38? Yes, no, don't care, won't order. Second question, as Lent approaches, do you enjoy the Friday fish fry? Same answers, yes, no, don't care, won't order. So I'm hoping to get more than 12 people this time. So don't worry, it's all anonymous. I have no idea who's picking what. Oh, we've already have 15, 16. Woohoo!
Great.
Oh, this is so fun. 20 people are responding, 22.
Very good.
Wow. 23. Well, I know our friends in the learning studio probably can't participate.
Well, Jackie
So
can take their
we'll have to
answer.
get their answer later. Wow. All right. That's awesome. So 23 of you participated in this. It's still going. If someone is trying to make their, okay, somebody said they can't get it to work. We'll have to check on yours out there. We'll get your answer to our person that said it can't work or it doesn't work. Okay, awesome. We are going to go ahead and end this poll. We will share our results. I can figure that out. All right. First question, would you like to see it returned?
It's like a split.
Well,
It's really
4 people
more
say
majority
yes.
say no.
7 people say no, but actually the majority don't care. They won't order it anyways.
So then we'd be ordering something and not selling it and wasting.
That's a concern. That's a concern. And we might get more people sharing after our meeting too. So we will certainly keep that in mind. And our fish fry question, as Lent approaches, do you enjoy the Friday fish fry? Most of you do. Yes, 16 people say they enjoy it. They will order it. Perfect. 2 people will not. Okay. And 6 of you don't care, won't order it anyways. This is good feedback. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Okay, anything, so we did have the fish question has originated from some fish feedback that we got. So we were curious about the fish fry specifically. Did you want to talk about anything else with that fish, Anne-Marie?
I don't think so. I think there was just some comments about having battered fish or breaded fish. And so then just also looking ahead, knowing Lent was coming, we were concerned then maybe we shouldn't do the fish fries. And so that's why we put that on as a poll to better understand that. So I think, with the other daily fish or the weekly fish fresh catch of the week, I think that we're hearing a lot of people aren't liking the breading. So we'll try, but we also know a lot of people do like the breading. So we might try to just kind of make a good, maybe once it's, maybe 1 week we will do some breading and just kind of keep a variety. So with breading and without breading to have that variety there.
Keep switching it up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody out there would like to see the tenderloin back if the price should drop below $20. Me too out there. Me too. I would go out to eat a lot more. Okay, some comments on the rolls last night. So thank you for sharing that. Enjoyed the new rolls served last evening. They were easy to cut. They were good size. Okay, great feedback. Thank you. And somebody out there won't eat fried foods ever. Totally respect that as well. Okay.
And I think also if there is a fish that has a breading on it, we do always have the salmon that is on the menu. So that is always a menu option as well. And you can also order that with no sauce as well.
Yep. And then another request actually in the chat box, I found a request for cod and haddock, less perch, less whitefish. Okay, we get all your feedback. Great. Did it pop in there? Okay.
There's just another comment that says breaded fish and fried fish are both not healthy, and that is correct. We understand that, and salmon always remains a choice, and you can have no sauce as well with that and just have it pure, just the fish there for you. And I think the last thing on our agenda is Wednesday lunch wait times. So we are understanding and hearing that Wednesdays we need to do better with making sure that we are ready for lunch. So we'll be addressing that with the kitchen and hoping to have a better plan in place for that. So we do apologize. And so we will take a look at how we're planning out our Wednesdays.
And I know from the folks that I saw, it does seem to be kind of the same few people affected. So we do apologize for that. We did notice that as well. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, we are caught up right now in the Q&A, and we have went through the agenda. So just a minute here, if you all had any ending thoughts, any other comments, you could put them in the Q&A. I really had fun with the polls, so thank you for your participation out there. On the back end, I think I can still look at the results to go back on them. So again, first time with setting up the polls, so thank you, and hopefully I can go back to them without watching the recording, but it's on the recording. Okay, we appear to be caught up with all of our questions. So same as always, we will send out some simplified minutes. The best way to get the info is always to watch the recording, because I am bound to miss something on the minutes. So anybody that missed this, I am certainly willing to set this up here in the library if you wanted to watch it here, if you don't have your computer at home, because I know there are people out there like that. So spread the word. We don't want anybody to miss out on these kinds of things. And just a comment, thank you for your efforts to be more environmentally conscious. We are trying, and it helps to have people like that too that live here. So thank you. Anything else, Anne Marie?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Yes,
thank you for your
so much.
participation today and your pre-submitted questions. We really appreciate it. Thank you.